3, 4, such, and see how we can work on that one, okay? Jalen, can you read question number 23, please?
Determine the amplitude, midline, period, and an equation involving the sine function for the graph shown in figure 26.
Thank you. All right, so we are given the graph of sine function in there. How we're going to get all the key features and how we're going to get the equations out of those, okay? So, what's the first thing that we're going to do in here on how to determine sine or cosine function from the given graph, right? Let's read step number 1. Paula, let's read.
Sine or cosine?
All right, is it a sine or a cosine function that we're looking for? Sometimes it's already given, like in here. It's indicated what you need to work on. In some cases, you are not given what needs to be done or what graph we are considering. But in here, it already is given that you are trying to find the what? The sine function instead, okay? So again, in here, it's already given. It should be a sine function. However, if it's not, typically you just look at the y-axis. And then from the y-axis, you would know if it started as a what? As a cosine or sine, right? So, again, if it's not given, look at the y-axis. If it looks like, from the y-axis, if it looks like that, started with that, with a maximum, then it's cosine. If not, then it's sine. Get it? Okay. So that's how you're gonna know if it's sine or cosine. If it's not determined yet or indicated yet, what we're gonna do. Step number 2. Candle, let's read. Determine
max y and min y to get the absolute value of a, which is amplitude, which is equal to max minus min divided by 2. D, which is equal to the midline, is equal to max plus min divided by 2.
Thank you, right? So midline is the average, amplitude is half the difference of what? Maximum and minimum. So in here, what's the maximum? -1, very good. And what's the minimum? -5. So we're gonna use those for such. Thank you. So those are correct. So let's put them in here. Try erase mark. Okay. So right. Okay. Once again, -1 minus -5. Yep. -1 minus -5. So just be careful with those negative signs. Okay. Oh, what's that gonna be? 5 minus 1, 4 over 2. You get 2 as the amplitude. Okay. What about the midline? We just get the average, -1 plus -5 all over 2, which is negative. Get it? So check. We got our A and D. Get it? Okay. Let's read now our step number 3. Okay. Khalid, let's read number 3, step number 3. Oh, you cannot see it from there. Jeremy, trace.
Trace one period of the given graph to determine the starting of the x value equal to sine change.
C. All right, thank you. So we're gonna trace one period of the graph to determine. So in here, we're trying to determine the what? The sine, right? So let's retrace. How does a sine look like? So from here, okay. I'm gonna highlight it with a yellow. So from here to there, oh, okay, one sine value, right? So I'm gonna cut it where? Just in there. Okay. So that's one sine value, right? One period from here to there. That's one period. But what's the x value where it started? 0, right? So the x start in here, x start is at 0, so that means we're lucky. Our C is what? 0 as well. Okay? But if it's not, wherever the x value actually starts, you sign change that, that will be your C. Yeah, so in here, it just so happens it started at the y-axis, so x equals 0, C is 0. Get it? Okay. Next one, let's read step number 4. Okay, so before we read our step number 4, what do you think is one period in here? How long is one period? From here to here, we see that that one is what? 4 units. So period in here is 4 units. Okay, because we're gonna use that one to solve for B. Okay, so let's read in here. Step number 4. Get it? Okay. Addie, let's read step number 4.
2 pi over
PB to solve.
to solve B.
Thank you, right? So again in here, we're solving for B. So if you use this triangle formula or mnemonic to solve for B, what you're gonna do with 2 pi and P? Divide. Thank you. So with that being said, we put in here, B is equal to 2 pi over P. The period in there is 4, right? Round it off, simplify it, that's pi over 2. Get it? Okay, so, well, check. We got our A, we got our B, we got our C, we got our D, right? So check A, B, C, D. We got it all. Mark, check mark. Step number 5. What do we do? Maggie, can you read the step 5? Form
y equals
plus minus.
negative a sine or cosine b x plus c plus b.
Thank you, right? So again, I notice in here or mentioned in here in red, if it flipped horizontally, right, then you're gonna just sign change whatever your A is. However, in here, there's no flip, so just write it out like such. So what is this? The answer will be what? Y is equal to, so in this case, Y is equal to, what's your A?
2.
2. Thank you. Is it sine or cosine? Sine. Again, it's mentioned, it's sine, right? On the problem. Parenthesis, what's our B?
Pi over 2.
Pi over 2, right? Oh, now don't forget, put another bracket or parenthesis, put X, and then put your C in here. What's your C? 0. So you may or may not put the C in there because it's 0 anyway, right? And the last one, what's your D?
Negative 3.
Minus D. Thank you, Cecilia. Go. And the last one is, let's read this one in here, Logan. Verify.
Verify by graphing sorry, I can't read.
Take note
Take
of
note of settings.
graph settings. Thank you. So, again, to know if you actually got it right, we need to graph it. Okay, so let's put in here. Y is equal to 2 sine parenthesis. What's our B again? Pi over 2, right? Pi over 2. Parenthesis once again, and then X, you may again or may not put the C equals 0 in there, right? And then minus 3. Right? Now, how do we do this? How do we graph it accordingly? Well, according to the graph, it looks like you want your X to be from where to where? Negative 5 to 5, right? And you want your Y to be negative 6 to 1, right? So you want to graph, well, you want to see a graph that's similar to that, what you're seeing in there, right? So X, negative 5 to 5, Y is negative 6 to 1. Get it? Okay, so let's put it in here like such. Go to graph settings, negative 5 to 5. The steps a while ago is by ones, right? And then in here, we put negative 6 to positive 1. And again, the steps are by 1 as well, or, you can just leave it blank. Did we get this graph similar to what we are given with? Oops, where's that given? Okay, it's gone somewhere. Is it the same as this one?
Yeah.
Right, so as you may notice, they're the same. Get it, guys? So again, you want to verify if you're actually getting the graphs right. And as you may notice in here, where is the midline? Y is equal to
Negative 3.
negative 3. So as you may see, that graph in blue, or that line, horizontal line in blue, cuts your sine function to upper half, lower half. Get it? Okay. Where is your period? Your period is from 0 to 4, right? So your period is 4. So we can put in here the following: 0 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 4. Okay. So that part shaded in green, does that give you one cycle or one period for sine? It did, right? So at least it's gonna give you an idea of like, okay, are we actually getting it right? Are we good, guys? Right? Any questions regarding that one? Thank you, Chase.